What's up, gang? So I want to do a technical analysis on Tesla stock for a trade. Well, we're actually in a trade, and I notified everyone on the private Discord server, and some people have already taken profits on this trade, but this trade can last a little bit longer, in my personal opinion. Now, this isn't financial advice, nothing's guaranteed. Trade at your own risk, but let me explain what I see in the charts for Tesla. So right now we're looking at the weekly chart, and let's just start charting this thing out together. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to chart the low, just so you can kind of understand what has happened with this stock. So I'm going to chart the bottom of this candle, the body of the candle, and then I'm also going to draw a line at the bottom of the wick. Now this is sell side liquidity. This is when people who are long on the stock got stopped out and we got new buyers in. Smart money got into the trade. Now, if you notice where this zone is, it's exactly at the bottom of this candle that represents the move higher. So traditionally, people would think that this candle right here, the bottom of this candle, or the top of this candle is support, because that was prior resistance, then it was broken, then it became future support, and it moved higher. So in theory, prior resistance becomes future support, and the fact that the stock has bounced there before is another indication that it's support. Well, it really isn't, because it got taken out, and that's why this is known as sell side liquidity. So what we're going to do here is we're going to draw a box here just to note this range. So that's our sell side liquidity. Now, what we see in the chart here is a pattern as of late where we are setting higher lows and higher highs, and we have recently bounced from that. So what is our potential target here? Well, now we want to find what is known as buy side liquidity. So we have relative or exactly equal highs here with the candle as well. So this area right here is where I think we're going to see our buy side liquidity. What that means is that the market will get up to this level, maybe surpass it just slightly, and that is where shorts will be forced to cover their position. So let's draw a rectangle here as well for our buy side liquidity on the weeklies. So this is a potential target for us to start taking profits on this trade. It's just one potential target. So this is what I see on the weekly chart, and essentially what we have noted is a range of where the stock bounced and where we think the stock can get to for the next high. So now let's go to the daily chart and start drawing some of this in a little bit more detail. So what we do want to draw is this trend line that I see here on the daily candles. Come down here, trend line. This is our upward channel on the daily candles, and as you can see, our buy side liquidity, which is our price target, is within this upward channel, making it realistic and a nice trade in my personal opinion. Now, something that I do want to point out is how the candles behave at support or the trend line. So if we zoom in at the 4-hour and we look at the first candle that started this all, what is this candle telling us? Well, it's telling us that it got to the sell side liquidity, it hit that price target. But then it's also telling us that it was lower during the day, but it ended up closing much higher. So there was a lot of volatility within this candle, but the volatility ended up being positive because it's green, so it closed higher. That started a run. The next time that we had a bottoming out of the stock, we had this large green candle. Now this is a bullish engulfing candle, and the same story can be said. It was lower, but then it closed much higher and incorporated all of the prior candles move, which is bullish. That was our last low, and then we had this low right here. As you can see, you had two green candles. So the first 4 hour closed higher, and then the second 4 hour, it closed higher as well. Not by much, but it did close higher. And now we are up at this point. When we got this candle right here, which is a very bullish candle, we had a zone of accumulation. And if we zoom in, you can kind of see there's a mini pattern here. It's a small bullish flag where we set higher lows, which is bullish. And we got to a point where the stock wanted to make a move. And it just happened to be news came out and the stock moved much higher. But that is the pattern right there. Higher lows, lower highs, a point of convergence that eventually broke out, and now we are going to sell off for a little bit, allow for a fair value gap to happen, for longs to get long in the stock and move the stock higher. That is my personal opinion of what's going to happen with Tesla stock. Now, I'm not just trading off of price action. I'm not just trading off of support and resistance levels. There are a few other indicators that I would like to show you that point to a positive movement in Tesla over the next couple of weeks. Now, as always, anything can happen with economic data. We're going to get CPI, and that could throw a wrench in all of this. But all things considered, things do look good on the chart for Tesla. Now, the first indicator that I want to show you is more of a macro indicator, and it is the 200-day moving average combined with the 50-day moving average and what's known as a golden cross. When the 50-day moving average moves above the 200-day moving average on the daily chart, as you can see happening right here, that is a bullish signal for the stock. And typically when that happens, stocks move higher. For instance, if I zoom out and I find the next time that we had the 50-day cross over the 200-day, it happened right here, and the stock went from $225 to $415. If I zoom out and I look for the last time that happened, it was over here, and the stock was, as you can see, $25, and it got to a high of $300. The same thing can be said in the inverse. When the 200-day is above the 50-day, that's typically bearish for a stock. We had that crossover here, and as you can see, the stock did end up much lower, going to around $100 a share. The fact that we have crossed over here is bullish for Tesla stock. The next indicator that I want to show you is what's known as the 13 and 26 EMA, and when that crosses over, what tends to happen with the stock. Well, we did just recently get that crossover, which is a bullish sign for Tesla. If we zoom out and we go back to the last time the purple line, which is the 13-day EMA, crossed over the 26-day EMA, here you can see that move that has happened with it. And then when we had a crossover in the inverse direction, it moved down. If we zoom out and we look for the last time it crossed over, it was right here. And as you can see, the move was higher. That's another potential indicator that Tesla wants to move higher. And then the third thing to watch is the RSI, and just the fact that we are above 50. And if we can hold above 50, that is bullish. As you can see here, when we got above 50 and we held above 50, we moved higher until we dipped below 50. Then we moved lower, and now we're currently above 50. So if we can get some space to the upside on the RSI, that's going to be good for Tesla stock. So all things considered, there is still a nice move in Tesla, I do believe. even though when we called it out, we were at $245, and now we're currently trading at $270-ish, and we had this nice move to the upside. I think the upside momentum can continue in this stock. So as you can see, I'm very transparent with all of my trades. This is in the private Discord server, a link in the bio. I notify all of my trades when I close them out, what I'm doing with them. Other people also notify their trades on here as well. And you can see that somebody closed out on that Tesla credit spread for 78% gains. But yeah, that pretty much wraps it up for my technical analysis on Tesla stock for now. I did all of this charting on WEBULL. You can do this on your PC or Mac, or on your iPhone or Android device as well. And if you use the affiliate link in the video description, you'll get 12 free fractional shares, or up to 12 free fractional shares, with each share being valued up to $3,000. Deposit $100, it helps the channel grow, and I do appreciate it. Outside of that, I'll catch you on the next video. It's been real, it's been fun, it's been real fun, and this is We Are Investing, and I'm out. See ya.